We're at the Cannabis Capital Conference presented by Benzinga, and we're talking to Jodie Emery, a cannabis activist. Jodie, welcome to Small Cap Power.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So you spoke on a social entrepreneurship panel today at this conference. What was the theme there?
The theme is that legalization has been a very long, hard-fought struggle for many, many people, particularly activists and minority groups and marginalized groups. They've really suffered the brunt of the law enforcement and criminalization harm. So for all the people coming into the cannabis space to make money and create these businesses and jobs, we just need them to respect and understand where the history of this industry is, and that it's a lot of people who have been unfairly treated, who deserve a chance to be in the cannabis industry, and it shouldn't just be for the rich and well-connected. It should definitely include all the victims of prohibition and pioneers.
What would be your message to all the companies attending today? Why is this issue so important beyond just focusing on numbers and investments?
Well, I'm known for my activism for 15 years through media, running for office, a lot of different areas, but my husband Mark Emery is known for creating businesses that give money to the movement. So for 25 years he'd been giving money to marijuana legalization efforts and law reform and court cases and all of these campaigns, and that's the benefit of business. If you can make money, you can use it for good things. So for the cannabis industry, there are a lot of people getting in because they've heard us all about a lot of big, quick profits, but really the best way to go about business in this space to win over the consumers and all of the people, the goodwill, is to recognize and support cannabis amnesty initiatives, looking at reparations and fixing things for those who have really suffered for so many years. We don't see any move to give pardons or forgive the records of people who have been unfairly criminalized, who are peaceful, nonviolent people. We're seeing a lot of restrictive, prohibitive regulations, and that's why I'm warning people that legalization shouldn't just be recriminalization with a new name. We need to make sure we grow businesses and allow innovators and entrepreneurs and disruptors to really make a difference, and that's only allowed when you free up an industry. So if a government aims to restrict and limit and no advertising, no branding, no stores, no lounges, no fun at all, that's not going to help the industry grow. We need a real free market where the supply and demand is based on what the people want.
Do you think the future of this industry lies in greater engagement between policymakers, regulators, and the private industry?
There's certainly a lot of activism being done by businesses now, and there's a difference from, even 15, 20 years ago, where as activists we're marching in the streets with our signs, held high, and we're doing all this work. But now cannabis is moving into more of a lobbying and political connections, networking, all that sort of stuff. Most grassroots activists aren't familiar with that, so all of the business people and the people who understand that language of politics and government and regulations and compliance and security and all that, they're working on all these different things, but it's getting a bit complicated and a little challenging for people who are just small business people. They just want a little pot shop. They don't want to be a big conglomerate, but it gets challenging when a lot of the government work is being done with engaging only with the big businesses. But I will say it's a lot easier to say we need more cannabis access when you're an $8 billion company rather than just a little activist on the street like me. So it helps to have more people fighting our fight too.
What happens to that, mini economy of boutique pot suppliers and those, stores on the streets? What happens to them?
Sadly, governments are promising to crack down and arrest and charge people who are operating now. And so myself, I even have a criminal record for trafficking now because I briefly operated storefronts, and now I can't get into the legal industry. That's banned me from it. But many people would say that's not really fair. Why would we punish the pioneers? And a lot of government messaging is that, well, we can't trust them. They're lawbreakers. They don't follow the rules. And the fact is, we tried to create rules in absence of regulation. We try to work with the government. So we'll see where the small businesses are able to go. But one fascinating thing about cannabis, when you compare it to other industries, there are a lot of movements towards business being more craft, artisan, local, small business. So other industries like food, clothing, music, everything are moving from big to small. And the cannabis industry that's been around for decades has always been that way already. Many small little individual craftspeople and artisans and entrepreneurs and passionate people, lots of them decentralized. And now the government's trying to eliminate that and bring all the pot into like a few big things. That's not going to work. You can't reverse engineer what the free market really wants. So we're going to see some hiccups along the way. And all we really need is for government to say, if you're in the industry already and you want to be legal, come get legal and we'll make it possible. But if the rules to get legal are too strict, too expensive, too difficult, like we've seen in California and elsewhere, a lot of operators won't be able to transition even though they desperately want to. So it's up to government and regulations to be about freedom and accessibility.
Wonderful. Jodie, wish you all the best with all the work that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.